Hello everyone, my name is David Allen Gay and you're watching the 27th episode of David Needs a Job. My job search is always changing, always dynamically morphing to meet the challenges of the day. You could say it's almost organic. I'm always adding new things to keep the job search fresh and active and to always explore new avenues. At the same time, I also pare down like dead branches on a tree or a bush any parts of my job search that are no longer working for me. That's expected. You got to do this sort of thing because if certain parts of your job search are not working and you're just spending time or money on it, then the best thing that you can do is get rid of the job search aspect and move on to something else. For example, I used to write to a blog at davidallengay.wordpress.com. Now, while the blog is still up and I have no plans of deleting that blog, I keep it up there as a record of my job search. In case something happens to me and I fall through the cracks, I like to have a record of what happened there to speak for me if I can't. I don't write to it anymore because I wasn't getting as many readers or as many comments as I used to. And it was a time-consuming process. It did help in the beginning, but it didn't help down the road, so I stopped writing to it as of February 2013. My cell phone and my newspaper subscription were also job search tools. My newspaper subscription was used for the classifieds, and my cell phone was used for checking up on my messages at home. I couldn't justify having a subscription to either. I canceled them, and I'm getting more money back as a result for food and rent and other utilities. Now, as of this morning, I have canceled another part of my job search that might surprise a lot of people, particularly those people who work in the employment assistance centers. I, as of today, have canceled my LinkedIn account. So if you were to look me up on LinkedIn through an old Kijiji or Craigslist ad, you won't find me there anymore. The decision to cancel my LinkedIn account was easy, but I did not take it lightly. You have to understand something. LinkedIn was one of the very first foundation planks laid down as part of my job search when I began looking for work in January of 2010. I was a LinkedIn member since August 3rd, 2010, so it's been a big part of my job search over 3 years. But I usually look at the number of hits that I get on any of the things that I do as part of my job search. Number of visits, number of comments, any sort of indication that people are visiting that part of my job search, responding, offering me interviews, offering me potential job positions I can send my resume to. And in the very beginning, LinkedIn was quite good. I had mostly co-workers on there and a few friends. But over the past 3 years, I started seeing the numbers start going down and down and down. A lot of my co-workers and a few of my friends who I used to network with on LinkedIn are no longer sending me leads or tips as to how to find a potential position. Now, LinkedIn is a basic service that I had. I didn't go for the paid account, but again, it all goes back to time versus return. I actually took the decision to cancel my LinkedIn account when I found that I did not get any hits for the past week, and for the month of August, all I got was 7 visits. Now, you're probably asking, well, what is the impact to your job search or to the network of contacts that you deal with as part of your job search? Well, I'm going to be very honest with you. Closing down LinkedIn blew away half my usable contacts on my network. I now have half the people that I normally collaborate with and network with in order to find a job. So you're thinking, okay, that's a really stupid move, David, because you just blew away half your network. How are you going to find work now when you've got half the number of people that you used to collaborate with? That's a good point, but as I mentioned before, I wasn't getting a lot of contacts, and this is not a dig at my former co-workers or my friends or related business professionals who are in the IT field or the employment assistance associates that I used to work with at various employment centers. But they weren't helping me anymore. They weren't returning any of my replies. They weren't sending me any more tips or leads on looking for work. I tried joining certain groups that were related to my genre in IT, and I never got a reply back. I tried interfacing with other people, joining other people's networks, with invites to be part of my circle, and I never got a reply back. So it became a lesson in frustration. So you could say, yeah, I did blow away my network, or half my network, but I could argue, well, that part of my network was pretty much dead based on the numbers that I was seeing. So it was no big loss and no big whoop that I would have severed that part of my job search. Now, did I do this in a moment of anger or a hissy fit? The answer to that is absolutely not. While I was very disappointed in the returns that I was getting, after 3 years of using LinkedIn, it was more of a dispassionate numbers game. Just like any other part of my job search that is no longer doing anything for me, I let LinkedIn go because it was no longer justifying the amount of time that I was spending. Would I go back to LinkedIn down the road? Possibly, if there's a new possibility of finding new leads through new contacts. Would I recommend LinkedIn to anybody else? Absolutely. It does work for people. I know other people who have been extremely successful with LinkedIn and have been able to find work through LinkedIn. But you want to know something? You can have the best tool in the world, like a hammer or a power drill, to build a house. But if you're dealing with rotten woods and rusty nails to build a house, that hammer or that power tool is not going to do you too much good. And this is the situation that I'm in. The rotten wood and the rusty nails that I'm dealing with right now is the economy. It sucks, particularly for IT folk like myself and the type of work that I'm in. So the best tools will not guarantee the best results. You have to have the best materials in order to build something that works. And what I need right now is some fresh leads and some fresh ideas to re-energize and reinvigorate my job search. Will I spend time post LinkedIn looking for that sort of revigoration and refreshing of my job search? Absolutely. I am going to look into some other avenues that I've not considered and see if they are viable replacements for LinkedIn. I still have my About Me page. You can find that at about.me/David Allen Gay. And of course, there's the video series here at David Needs a Job. And that's my save for today, for this episode. Thank you very much for watching this episode, and I look forward to talking to you again next time. Have yourself a great day. Bye for now.